please remember that your emotions are completely beatable. One thing I've learned growing up is that there are definitely times where it feels like whatever emotion is overwhelming us right now, if we have a strong emotion, that it's very hard to just not do what that emotion is telling us to do. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that emotions can't actually make emotions can't take actions. You know, our bodies are controlled by our brains, and we always get the final say. It means we always get the final say. It's like when people have the analogy, the metaphor of having an angel on one shoulder and a demon on the other. It's effectively that. Emotions can make it more likely for you to do certain things. They can make it less likely to do certain things, but they can never actually do the choice. I remember noticing for the first time the level of control that we actually have by thinking about this concept of actually mastering our emotions. And what I mean by that is, I find it really fun in a way to actually take note of the actual ways that certain emotions change my behavior. So for example, I noticed that if I listen to sad music, it'll sound good because I like sad music. Well, I don't like sad music specifically. I like a lot of songs that happen to be sad. But I noticed that if I'm actually feeling sad, then that sad music suddenly becomes a 10 out of 10 album. It just skyrockets its power, its emotional fortitude. So, just from noticing stuff like this, you realize that the things that emotions do to us are trackable, they're consistent. You can notice them and say, oh, I feel like doing this, that means I'm feeling this. And I think that's empowering because you realize that you actually are in control. You realize that the ways that your emotions are distorting your vision, because the thing that makes emotions really hard and why all of this is important is because when you are feeling a strong emotion, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's even excitedness to an extent, when you're in them, it makes certain things feel obvious and other things feel less obvious. When someone's really angry at someone else, it doesn't feel like a good idea. It doesn't feel like as good of an idea to walk away. A lot of the time, it can make it feel like a logical thing to do to continue that argument, continue that discussion, when a level-headed, non-emotional version of you would know easily to walk away. That's one example. And so if you can learn the patterns of your own emotions, learn when I feel this, I'm more likely to do this. When I feel angry, I'm less likely to walk away. When I know walking away is a good idea, is the best idea, then it lets you say, oh, I'm effectively, it lets you realize that you're being mind controlled by your own emotions. You can say, oh, that thing is happening to me again. Well, now I know I'm not going to be fooled by it, am I? I'm not going to want to be fooled by it. So I like this. I like the idea that you can notice, because you can. I find writing it down can help. What do I usually think when I'm like this? Because we all have certain doubts that we have about the actions that we're taking, the goals that we're pursuing, and maybe the doubts around that goal, if it's a scary goal, if it's a difficult goal, maybe the doubts intensify on days where you're feeling particularly nervous, particularly just not as hyped up as you usually are. You can realize, oh, I'm feeling sad. That's why I'm feeling this. It's not because I've learned new information that makes it seem like this goal is less achievable than I thought. It's just me, average emotional fluctuation. It's like what people say, where it's like, don't trust the way that you feel about your life after 9 p.m. Because there's loads of science to show that human beings are way more susceptible to negative emotions after 9 p.m. than they are during the day. So mastering emotions effectively comes down to realizing that each emotion changes you in a predictable way, and because it's predictable, it's beatable. And if that's not a useful thing to know, I don't know what is. I find that super empowering.